Welcome back on Newsmaker. 1 in 10 Americans over 65 are living with dementia. This obviously affects the person, but it often leaves families and loved ones scrambling and overwhelmed, trying to find help, trying to figure out how to manage this. Former Phoenix Mayor and Attorney General Terry Goddard has been touched by this personally. He joins me now to share a very personal story about a family member. And Terry, great to see you as always.
Thank you, John.
And we're going to bring in the real saviors in this story, Navi Nurses, in a moment. We're not going to get into too much detail because it's very personal, but this family member passed away at age 76 in September, and I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
No, this person was very close to you. Can you describe kind of the journey, first recognizing that something was up with this family member?
Well, I'll try. You led in with dementia, and he had dementia that had become very acute over the last 5 years. And that made his medical care significantly more difficult because part of the issue seems to be oppositional. Sometimes people can be just sweet as can be, and then they'll become very oppositional. In his case, it revolved around the actual medical procedures that he needed to be involved in for his health, the pills that he had to take. He decided that he should be the arbiter of which pills he took when. And
I mean, he's a grown-up. You know, this is the thing.
He's run his own life for 70 years. We found as family members there was no way to talk him down. And when we got a professional nurse in the equation on a strategic basis, they were able to fix it. They very kindly made sure that he understood what the routine was. They then administered that routine for the next several years and really made his care at home, and I want to emphasize that. The family wanted to make sure that he stayed in the home that he'd lived in for over 50 years. And that was important for
That's a tricky one. So was there ever an effort to try to move him in with you guys?
No, that wouldn't have worked. And there was, we looked at, but when he was fully conscious of the surroundings, we looked at institutions, and he basically said, nope, not going to do that. So we felt that part of his care involves staying in the home.
This touches 1 in 9 people. 11% of the population age 65 and older have Alzheimer's. And in Arizona, it's 151,000 people who have dementia. And think about the spokes out from that, the families involved, who are touched by it.
Right, big time. And it's hard to deal with because this is somebody you love, somebody that you've known for years, and suddenly they're virtually somebody else. And sometimes we found that the family was simply not able to cope.
How cognizant was he that his condition had changed? Is he aware of what's happening?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, I can't get inside of his head, but
or that something isn't right.
He didn't seem to be. He knew something wasn't right. I mean, it was clear. He lived in the past. He lived in memories that he still had of times many, many years ago. But in terms of current memory, something that happened 10 minutes ago would be gone from his mental stack. And so he was somewhat confused most of the time. But as a result of that, he became oppositional. And so if somebody said, go left, he would say, I'm going right. Yeah. And that made it very hard for the people who loved him to make sure that he was taking his proper medication, that he was taking care of himself just in a cleanliness way. So
tell me about Navi Nurses and how you arrived at that decision to bring in an outside agent to kind of help out.
Well, we knew it was beyond our capacity. That was our biggest revelation. And so we were fortunate to find Navi Nurse, but I think many professional nurses could fill this category, which is to bring a professional, caring focus on a medical situation that's clearly out of the capacity, out of the experience realm of the immediate family.
Yeah, and it takes you off the hot seat a little bit too.
Well, it does.
You become the policeman.
Peace of mind, really, because you know somebody who knows what they're doing, and they became an intermediary too with some of the doctors, which was a later benefit that I did not expect.
And they've got medical training. They've got medical background.
Well, the doctors preferred to talk to them. Yeah.